Uh, Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our video of self-directed learning. So, in this video, we are going to discuss about what self-directed learning is. We are also going to look at the roles of the teachers in self-directed learning. We are also going to touch on what can learners do to develop or to take initiative of their own learning. So without wasting any time, let's pop into it by defining what self-directed learning is. So what is self-directed learning? Self-directed learning is a process through which individuals take responsibility for their own learning. In other words, it's a process through which learners take initiative of their own learning. So learning without limitation and independently without or with the help of the teacher. So this include now identifying learning goals and also engaging in the process of self-evaluation. Identifying learning goals, this simply means to identify what outcome are expected for the learner to accomplish at the end of the lesson. Okay. So we are now moving on to the roles of the teacher in self-directed learning. What are the roles of the teacher in self-directed learning? Teachers must first assess whether or not students are ready to undertake self-directed learning. So how can this be done? So the teachers must first find out if the learners are ready to undergo the process of self-directed learning. So this is through the assessment that the teacher is giving to the learners and the test. How are the learners performing? Are the learners on track? Do they really understand the subject area before, or do they really understand the learning outcomes before proceeding to the next chapter or to the next unit? So these are the roles of the teacher to assess or to see if the learners are ready to undertake or to direct their own learning. So the next point is they also need to find out student daily needs and interest, and design lesson plans and assessment that relate to those aspects of student lives, therefore making learning relevant and enjoyable for their students. So this simply means that the teachers must relate the learning content or the syllabi to the daily needs and interest of the learners. There's a statement that a lot of people learn in what they are interested in, and the teachers must be responsible of making the learning or the classroom learning environment to be more enjoyable and relevant. So these are the roles of the teachers. We are continuing. As you can see here in this picture, this is a teacher in front of the classroom. So he is using I don't think he is using self-directed learning, because he's just explaining without considering the learners, without the initiative of the learners. So this teacher is just explaining without interacting with the learners. So it is needed maybe from the beginning, but later on you have to give chances to your learners. Of course, the teacher have to act as a facilitator, but in some time you have to direct your learners, or you have to introduce them to the self-directed learning process. Okay, these are just the roles of the teachers that are continuing here. So we have the teachers should encourage students to become independent and take responsibility for their learning while remaining available to help and support the students. So the teachers must not only since it is self-directed learning, the teachers must not just sit back at the chair and then leave the students to do every work in the classroom. So the teacher must be there, available and available to help where the students are finding it difficult and where the students might have questions. So teachers should also ensure students understand the importance of reflection and the self evaluation process. So the teacher have also to introduce self directed learning the importance, how crucial it is So it must be really significant for the teacher to to explain these things to learners before undertaking the process of safe directed learning. Yeah, so here is just a video from my from the University of Maastricht. So here they just explain how to implement self-directed learning in the classroom. So we're just going to see what they are saying about this. So it's not really far from what I have just said. So, but I just conducted different sources to make this clear and understandable to everyone.
Of today's workplace. How to implement self-directed learning in your classrooms. Teach students how to set and manage their goals. They can start with small and easily achievable goals to grasp the concept of goal setting. Later, they can move to setting long-term goals. Let students self-enroll to groups so they can base their choices on similar learning goals or fields of interest, complementary specializations, and skills, or matching learning strategies. This increases the intrinsic motivation of each group member and raises the chances of successful teamwork. Give your students a voice. Your classroom should set a stage for students to feel comfortable enough to have a voice and speak their minds. Students will feel more empowered and a part of a classroom community. It boosts their self-confidence and in turn makes them independent learners. Instead of giving students a detailed plan or procedure, give them a map showing where to end up and let them decide on the best way to get there. Guide students in choosing their own learning resources, tools, and apps by giving them a chance to choose the strategy that best fits their learning needs. Have students do self-evaluations, reflect on their progress, and identify the skills they need to develop in order to improve their learning. When we provide students with time and space to be aware of their own knowledge and their own thinking, students' ownership increases. Promote an "I can" attitude. When students face disappointment, teach them to analyze it and look at the big picture. In addition to promoting their analytical thinking skills, it empowers them and puts them in charge of their own learning. Now you know what self-directed learning is, why it is good.
So he just simply means that, or she was just explaining the implementation process of self-directed learning, in the classroom. Things that the teacher can do to implement the self-directed learning in his or her classroom. So we are now moving on to the roles of the so we are moving on. How can learners take initiative of their own learning? So so these are just the strategies to show how can learner take responsibility of their own learning, or how can learners take part in self-directed learning, management and monitoring. Learners need to identify the learning goals they wish to accomplish, as well as negotiate a particular time frame for completion. So this basically means learners must know what they want. They must know what they need to achieve at the end of the day. So they must really know what they have to complete when they learned a particular subject earlier. Okay, so assessing learning needs. Students assess their needs as they progress through the learning process. They will need to find out what resources they need, or what help do they need from the teacher. So this basically means that learners identifying the needs and the resources from where they can learn a particular subject area. Okay, so we are moving on. Collaboration. Learners collaborate with each others. So this basically means that learners have to work with each other. They have to ask information from different people, even adults in the community that can gain or to gain knowledge and experience to reach their learning objectives. So this basically mean in the community there might be some subject or there might be some expert in some subject area. So they might be people that know better than teachers, or people that know compared to teachers. So the learners must feel free to ask adults from their community and their colleagues also from different grades. So self-evaluation. After learners have gone through the process and have finished the assignment, students should reflect and evaluate their results. So students should get input from other students as well as teachers to find areas that may need improvement. So self-evaluation or evaluating their results basically mean to find out what they got or what they have gone through, what answers they get wrong, and the teachers have to provide the revision and memorandum to correct the learners so that they can not repeat the same mistake in future. Okay. So here is just an example of self-directed learning. As you can see here, the learner is in the library. After a lesson, the learner went to the library to look for different information, to search of maybe the lesson that was discussed that day, or the lesson to be discussed the following day. So this basically means this learner will be acquire more knowledge compared to learners that doesn't have self-directed learning. Okay, we are moving on, and this basically the last part for self-directed learning. So self-directed learning can benefit learners and teachers in a lot of ways. So it teaches you to take initiative and create values, build self-confidence, promote self-awareness. It helps you find a career you find personally fulfilling. As you are doing research, or as you are learning on your own, you will find different sources that might teach you different information that you have never heard from anyone. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our video. Thank you very much.